Wife only wants sex on her own terms, despite my high drive and open communication, leaving me close to giving up entirely. My 30 male wife, 28F, thinks I have a low sex drive. Truth is. So my wife is indeed a beautiful lady. I'm not interested in cheating or going behind her back. She just thinks we don't have a lot of sex because I have a low sex drive. Truth is, we don't have a lot of sex because we have it the way she wants it, and little to never how I want it. I'm all for using vibrators and whatever else to get her off as many times as possible. I'm a huge fan of oral and can eat front and back for days, but she scarcely returns the favor. She once said if you shower before bed I'll do it. So for a week straight I made sure I was showered and clean because let's be real, who wants to go down on a smelly person? Totally reasonable request. So I would do my oral on her and indicate I'd like to be on the receiving end. To no avail. I have a high sex drive, but she has become a selfish lover, and coming from a man, it's pretty comical to say this. I have no words at this point and I'm pretty close to just giving up sex altogether. Edit 1. Yes, I have talked to my wife plenty of times about this issue. A lot of you guys said the same thing, which hey, emotional maturity is fucking impossible to find, but yes. I am wide open with my concerns and more than just the sexual aspect in our marriage. Update 1. My wife is a lazy and selfish lover. And at this point, I have been in therapy myself and I've tried couples counseling as well. I have brought my concerns to her in a healthy, calm manner, and safe to say, I've tried pretty much everything. As most of us know, yesterday was Thanksgiving. Here's an update. I made my signature dish because it was demanded by my in-laws that I make it. We go over for food and such. After we eat, I took a little snooze on the couch. My wife woke me up and said, "Hey, I need you to watch the kids. I'm gonna have some wine." I mean, alright, no problem. So while she's drinking and playing games with her family, I got put on kid duty for all the kids. I'm also the fun uncle, so like I didn't really care. I did care as my wife got progressively more and more intoxicated. When we left, I literally had to throw her over my shoulder while carrying both kiddos to the car. We got home, I made her drink water, got the kids around and put them to sleep and helped my wife sober up a bit. We watched some TV and surprisingly, she cuddled into me and thanked me for taking care of her and the kids, and she didn't mean to have so much wine. Alright, I'm always pleased with self-awareness. Literally just that little bit washed away any irritation I had. I carried her to bed and laid her down, got her some water and ibuprofen, and a bucket just in case, got her set up in bed. About 2 hours later I heard my son crying, so I went to get him. He had some nightmares, so I got him settled down, put him back to bed. Few hours later my daughter woke up because she peed through her pull-up. I got her back to sleep. When I got back into bed my wife was awake. I asked what was wrong? Her response was I was drunk. And you didn't even try to do anything to me? No, because even if we are married I'm not going to take advantage of you. That's pathetic. I laid back down and she said, if you want we can have sex before you go back to bed? Mind you, this was 430, and I was fucking beat and my mental fortitude was gone, and this is, in my personal opinion, not the correct way to respond. Said if you want to have sex, you're gonna have to give me head first. I'm not hard and I'm not doing anything to get it going. She goes, well I guess never mind. Couple hours later the alarm went off, I got up. Got the kids around and my coffee. She comes out a few hours later dressed and says, why didn't you wake me up? You were up like 4 times with the kids. I was gonna let you sleep. Nah, it's okay. You didn't even budge at my alarm this morning, so I figured you still needed to sleep. Why are you dressed? She said the girls want to go Black Friday shopping and was wondering if I wanted to go. Nah. I'll hang out with the kids and watch movies. They are gonna have a rough day. And that brings me to now. Having a cuddly movie day with my kids who are tired. She's out shopping. And I need another cup of coffee. Edit, I posted the 3rd update but it was marked as spam. Currently trying to get that resolved for you guys. Secondly, I posted in the wth.reddit to try and get some tips to help boost her libido, and someone said she may just be using my love of giving oral as masturbation. Turns out, dude was spot on. After we had a really good talk Saturday, I'm actually really hurt by her never saying anything. I genuinely at a loss for words. 30HLM seeking advice about a 28LLF. Hey all. I, 30HLM, am looking to reignite my bedroom with my wife, 28LLF, some quick background. I am a giver. I love giving oral, so I do go down on her frequently, and I am being serious here, it's almost daily. I like to give her 1 or 2 before we move on. The issue is, our sex life slowly declined until about mid-June. Since then we have had sex a handful of times, but I still go down on her almost daily. I have no problems getting her to the peak, if you catch my drift, but as soon as she gets one, she just kinda rolls over and doesn't want to continue. Now, I don't watch porn, recovered addict and sticking to it, and I don't masturbate. Any advice to help get her to bring her libido back up to my level? Edit, have, in the short time I've posted this, discovered she has been using my love of giving oral as a means of masturbation, and also thought that since I loved it so much that it got me off too. Repost since the original was marked as spam. Has since been resolved. So a lot has happened since Thanksgiving/Black Friday. After we put the kids down on Saturday, I sat my wife down and told her for the first time she's going to listen to what I have to say and she will not interrupt or say anything back. I explained everything. How I'm feeling so awful because of her lack of interest, because of her laziness, and how it's not okay to just simply not exist because I come home from work. I explained it's not okay anymore to be a selfish lover because I am too good of a man/husband to feel unworthy of love. The rest of the night she didn't really say much. The following morning, I woke up suddenly to my kids playing in the living room. I instinctively ran out to see what they were into and how big of a mess there was. To my surprise, my wife was playing with them. She said she was sorry that she woke me up. She didn't realize how her lack of attention and interest was hurting me so much. So far so good. Monday rolls around. I posted in the Dead Bedroom Reddit to maybe get some advice from some LL people on how to get my wife more interested in having sex. Someone suggested maybe she was being a pain in the ass and using my love of giving daily oral as a form of masturbation. I didn't even think of this possibility until they said something, so I asked bluntly if that's what she was doing. She responded with yes. That's what she was doing, but figured since I loved it so much that it was okay. That me going down on her multiple times was all I wanted. Nope. I didn't say much after that and kinda just stared off into space thinking about how I was nothing better than a sex toy to her. I woke up early this morning feeling just horny as all hell, so I decided I was going to wake her up with my tongue and give it one last Hail Mary attempt. I got into position and nope. She's too tired. At this point. Seriously. I am really stunned. Help me. Edit. So a lot of you guys have said to stop giving. So last night and this morning I kept to myself. When she rolled out of bed, she was pretty much pissed immediately. She kicked a pile of small boxes that I had neatly put together to take outside for garbage day. She was tossing things that were in her way, had a short temper towards our kids. This did not fly, and you best believe Papa Bear came out, and was saying nasty things as I was heading at the door because I didn't make her coffee this morning. Edit 2/update. She cancelled our marital counseling session without telling me, so we didn't go last night. She felt it was a waste of time when there's nothing wrong with our marriage. Took that time to deep clean my kitchen out of anger after my kids went down because I genuinely did not have it in me to even look at her. I have refused to give her any sexual attention, and I can see the frustration on her face about it. I'm still holding strong, but it really sucks when that was literally the only attention that our marriage had anymore. Pretty much a single dad at this point. 30 meters dB with 28F. I think I have a fix. So this is a halfway update / what I plan to do in a final attempt to fix this. Right now, we have had a DB for years. Whenever we did have sex, it was pretty much on her LLF terms. Me being HL, for the past 6 months, I have been going down on her almost daily to try and get her libido to match mine. It has not been working, so the past few days I have stopped giving. It's been about 5 days since I've done it, and my wife is acting short-tempered and cranky but has not initiated anything. Last night we got into a big disagreement about some stuff, and divorce was put on the table not just because of our DB but because of a plethora of other issues. I have also decided that I'm going to up my fitness. I've been doing boxing to enjoy the full body workout, but now, I'm going to do my best to become a certified DILF. I know working out typically can increase libido, so I may need some more support from all you wonderful people. If I can get super fit and she still doesn't find me attractive enough to actually initiate, then I have no clue what else to do. Update 2. I am writing this, sitting in my shower with tears of confusion streaming down my face. After a pretty big fight, I have told my wife to go sleep at her parents' house for the next few days. At this point, I'm emotionally, physically, and spiritually drained. This is an update, so let me back it up a few days to fill you all in. Saturday, December 17th. Discussed with my in-laws the previous day to take the kids over to spend the day with them, to have a day to ourselves with my wife. Woke up early. Got them dressed, fed, and out the door. Dropped them off at their grandparents'. Came back, wife was still sleeping. I immediately went to work by picking up the living room, vacuumed, made sure everything was nice and tidy. Went into the kitchen, put away the dishes that were washed the night prior, swept, mopped, wiped down counters where I missed the night before. She came out around 9 a.m., asked where the kids were, explained, and was immediately met with annoyance. Asked why I would just pawn our kids off. They aren't her parents' responsibility. We literally never ask her parents for anything, which is why they were actually excited to spend the day with them, etc. I made her a coffee, and kept cleaning. Scrubbed the bathroom floor to ceiling, every nook and cranny, swept, mopped. Cleaned laundry room top to bottom, put away all of our clothes, cleaned both kids' rooms. You get the idea. She took a nap at 12. Woke up at 4:30ish. I had laid out a nice little date outfit for her so we could go out and have a little date. She told me she didn't feel like going anywhere. Fair enough. Let me cook for you, it's more intimate that way anyway. Made one of her favorites. Was flirting with her the entire time I was cooking. Opened a bottle of wine. I came into the living room wearing a nice suit. To see the outfit I picked out for her still on the counter. Okay, we ate, cuddled up watching a TV show for a little bit, and I tried to get a little more intimate, and she said she was too tired. Sunday, December 18th. Spent the whole day picking at each and every decision I made. Second guessing everything to the point of me getting a hairline close to blowing a gasket. Monday, Tuesday, typical me, waking up with kids, feeding them, working, cooking, cleaning. Nothing really to report. Today. December 21st. I left a roast out for her to put in the slow cooker. I had to leave for work early so I didn't have the time. Texted her the instructions. If anyone knows, an all-day slow cooker roast is literally the most comfort of comfort meals. At least for me it is. I texted her around 3 expressing how excited I was to come home for this roast. I didn't put it in. Okay. That really sucks, but I'll do it tomorrow. I asked her to just pull out chicken so it can thaw out. She didn't even do that. The moment I walked through the door, she went and sat in the shower. While she was in the shower, and I was cooking, my daughter got into her makeup. While cleaning her up, I told her she was beautiful enough as is and I didn't think she needed this. And from the next room my wife yelled at me to not make her feel bad or put her down. So I asked her, how would you like for me to handle this if it happens again? The absolute venom in her response genuinely upset me because it's an innocent question. This led to us arguing the entire time to ourselves, me trying to hold off until the kids went down. Her yelling in my face. After we got the kids down, I went to her car, started it, came back in and let her yell for a few more minutes and then told her to get the fuck out of my house. That she is done speaking to me like I'm trash. That I deserve better. That I deserve to be loved. That I am a better husband than she ever deserved on her best day. She fought with me on leaving, but I got her some clothes, put them in my duffel bag, gave it to her. Phone charger and everything she needed. When she told me she was taking the kids with her, my cool and calm demeanor instantly snapped. I'm not a physically imposing person. I'm not a rude or mean person. I stepped right to her face and without touching her, told her if she thinks she can take my kids from me, she can try. She left. Her dad, whom is a man I have great respect for, came over. Asked for my side. I explained, and he put his hand on my shoulder. Didn't say a word. Just stood up. Walked to the door, turned to me. Tears in his eyes as well, said I didn't raise her like that. So here I am. Mad. Sad. Hurt. Broken. Update 3. The first part of this is probably going to piss you off, but please bear with me. The night after I asked my wife to leave for a few days, her dad came back over. We had a really good talk about what's going on with my wife. He, like many of you, came to the conclusion she was depressed. Told her that she needed to get off her butt and get help or she was going to lose her family. Literally nothing I haven't said to her already 100 times over. It was nearing bedtime for my kids and he knew that, so he asked if he could take my kids with him that night so they could do Christmas Eve in the morning with them. Mind you, this was Christmas Eve, so I allowed it. Got their clothes together and sent them on their way. My house was deadly quiet and that was upsetting in its own right. I decided to have a few drinks and ask myself if this is what my life would be if I left her for good. An empty house. No laughter of my kids. Knowing they aren't sleeping but a few feet from me in a different room. It felt wrong. The following morning I went over to her parents for Christmas Eve. Played the good dad and husband. Got toys, gifts for everyone. Spent the whole day doing my best to put on that brave face. When it came time to go, I asked my wife to come home with me. I didn't want my kids waking up Christmas morning without their mom. I put the kids down. Finished, wrapped gifts and went to bed a little early. I got the wife a new copy of Pokemon Scarlet, new headphones, kids broke hers, a new Kindle since she wanted a waterproof one, and foot warmer since her feet are always cold when she sits at her desk. I got, from her, a new desk mat. Which honestly was spot on, I needed it. The next couple of days went well with the except of everything in my house breaking that was related to the toilet and shower. Work week went fine. Just did my normal cooking and cleaning. Then New Year's Eve rolled around. Put the kids down. I sat with her on the couch, told her we need to talk, to figure something out because we both know we are at the edge of a cliff and I'm ready to jump. I tell her to just talk to me. Tell me anything. Tell me she's depressed. Tell me there's something wrong. Hell, I will even take you telling me you're having an affair because hey, at least you're talking to me. What she said next kinda rocked me. She said she loves me, ate the father of her kids, but she doesn't love me anymore and she's been trying to figure out how to say it for months. She used me as a tool to get her orgasm. She took out all her frustration out on me, used me as a punching bag, and it pissed her off knowing that no matter what she did, that I never stopped being warm. Never stopped being kind. Never stopped being thoughtful. Never for a day decided to stoop to her level. She thought that I was no longer interested in her physically since I stopped initiating the intimacy. I corrected her. She objectified my love of giving. She told me no too many times. She treated me like I was some idiot who at no point knew what I was doing when it came to everyday tasks. No one wants to have sex with someone who is constantly making them feel unworthy. We came to the conclusion that we both are here for the kids. It's unhealthy and not fair to either of us. It's not fair to the kids. I've been watching single dad videos and looking at other subreddits, forums. Basically everything, and I'm terrified of the next steps. We both agreed that if divorce came to pass that we would be as amicable as possible for our kids. We don't want any resentment or unkind feelings to get in the way of what's best for them. I am already in therapy. I'm encouraging her to get some as well. I need to sleep, but I haven't slept right since. Even as I'm writing this, I'm in bed feeling pretty numb. I'll respond to comments on here when I have the energy. I've been getting a lot of TikTok people, so I made an account so I can read comments and respond there as well. Again, thank you all for your support and advice. You have no idea how much it means. Edit. Noticed a couple of typos. Kids went over on Christmas Eve. We did Christmas Eve at her parents' house. Christmas at my house. I apologize for the confusion there. I feel like I'm losing my mind lately, with everything going on with going through the motions of divorce, trying to get debt paid off, some medical issues going on with myself and my son, work. I'm just feeling like I'm constantly at the tipping point of my sanity. The only people I can normally vent to are mutual friends, and I don't want anything to get back to my wife. I'm afraid of the custody battle ahead of me with my kids. I'm frustrated all the time. I have a lack of motivation to keep up with my daily chores. I'm just spread really thin at this point and I have no idea what to do. I'm trying to keep my head up and keep a brave face of the kids, but really I just feel like I'm drowning. I am at my wit's end with this. For anyone who has been following my story, let's all collectively heavy sigh. I've had a migraine for almost a week due to a pinched nerve in my back. It has been causing me a lot of discomfort. I got my kids cold over the weekend, so let's add in the sinus pressure of a cold and you got a recipe for a grumpy and strained person. I'm not the type of person to ask for help with chores or a break from my kiddos. However, yesterday, during their nap time, I decided to take one as well. The wife came and laid in bed with me, and when the kids woke up about an hour and change later, I asked my wife if she would get them so I could rest a little more. A simple and eloquent no came out. Okay, then I got up, got the kids, watched a movie and relaxed. Started up dinner. Approx 2 hours after I woke up, she came out and sits on the couch and I hear her scrolling through TikTok. I finish up dinner and she comes in the kitchen and goes, "You know we have leftovers. Let's just do that." Since I made penne pasta, I just threw it in a glass pan and said sure, we can have this tomorrow so I don't have to cook. Fast forward to us putting down the kids. After we did that, I asked if she would be willing to do the dishes for me. She laughed and said no fucking way. Okay, well I'm not doing them either. This morning she sent me 2 pictures. One of the trash can which was full and the other of the full sink with the message, "This is unacceptable." Admittedly, I forgot to grab the trash this morning. I did tell her I'd take it out, but I genuinely forgot. I explained I'd take it out when I got home and do the dishes. Her response was, instead of being lazy and not doing anything, next time just ask for help if you're not feeling well. When I read that message I audibly laughed. I texted back simply, I asked for help twice. Twice I was told no. I'll handle it when I get home. To which she sent a flurry of, "Oh, I'm the worst partner. I'm just the shittiest. I'm a bad wife. Etc. I get if you don't want to pull your weight, but now we out here gaslighting." I am reminded daily why I am on the exit pod with this woman, but every single day I am more and more worried about what is going to happen with me and my kids. I'm fighting for them obviously, but to say it's an uphill battle is a goddamn understatement. Update 4. To catch everyone up since the last update, it's been your standard wife just vibing while I clean, cook, take care of the house, and everything else. For the past few weeks I've been working on myself, working out, eating better, drinking more water, just really focusing on me when the kids aren't around. Last night it really came to a head, however. I've been having a depressive spell the past few days and really just have no motivation for anything extra. She looked at me and asked me, "Why do you look so down these past couple of days?" It could have been the sleep deprivation, or depression. Honestly I don't know, but I responded with, "It's really hard to be happy when you're around." We sat for a little bit in silence and I just told her that I'm tired of constantly being belittled, yelled at, treated like I'm never good enough while she sits on her perch in a broken record and barks orders. I told her I know we don't want the kids in daycare, but we need to figure something out because I'm done. I don't want to be in this marriage anymore. I don't want to be her husband anymore. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I don't know what the future holds. What I do know is I'm going to be going through with a divorce. I deserve happiness. I deserve to be loved. I'm terrified of the upcoming battle for my kids. I'm excited to renter the dating pool. Kinda. Not exactly. Update 5. I'm writing this on a Sunday night, lights off save for the little Star Wars nightlight in the hallway outside my son's room. The kids are asleep, finally. I'm lying here, and my arms actually ache, not from the gym, but from sheer life. If you've read this far you know the story, the kingdom of my marriage crumbling brick by brick, the only thing still sturdy being the routines with my kids and my recently improved push-up count. Let's rewind just a week. After my last update, things slogged on in that awful limbo you get before major change. I'd stopped asking my wife for anything, but at the same time neither of us wanted to be the first to really, truly make a move. There was a lot of silence, awkward small talk roasting the supermarket's new potato chips in front of the kids, but otherwise we were like two ships passing in the night, occasionally colliding over dirty dishes. Then, on Wednesday, I got a call at work from my son's school. He'd tripped on a stray boot on the playground, likely a minor twist of the ankle. Could I come get him? Of course I could. I called my wife, no answer. I shuttled him home, gave him ibuprofen and a cold pack, and he wanted to watch Spider-Man. As we cuddled on the couch, his small foot over my leg, I realized I hadn't sat still like this in weeks. It was quiet. Just me and my son eating cheese sticks and debating the true identity of the Green Goblin. That night was the beginning of the shift. My wife walked in late, shopping bag in one hand. No eye contact. Every part of me wanted to throw in the towel, but I calmly told her we'd both gotten messages from the school and it would be good to coordinate. She mumbled something I didn't catch, went to our room, slammed the door. Normally, this would be the trigger for my anxiety spiral. What should I have done? Was I wrong? This time, I just went back to Paw Patrol with the kids. When bedtime came, I tucked them in and lay down myself. I slept, really slept, for the first time in months. Next morning, here's where things get odd. I wake up to my wife actually making breakfast. She never does this, not even on Mother's Day. Nothing fancy, just instant oatmeal, but the effort? Noticed. She's cheery. She asks if I want coffee, tries to joke with me about the mess the kids made with the markers yesterday. Instead of biting back, I let her have it. I tell her I appreciate the breakfast but that these gestures don't erase months, hell, years, of neglect and harsh words. She looks a bit stung, but, here's the kicker, she listens. We end up talking, gingerly, around the big stuff but not quite into it, but for the first time it feels like talking and not competing monologues. She goes for a walk later with her mom, leaves me with the kids. I half expect her to come home and be furious about something mundane, the laundry wasn't sorted. Oh no, but instead she comes back and just sits with us. Doesn't touch her phone. Doesn't zone out. No, it's not a movie moment where we fall back in love over coloring books and pizza rolls, but something shifted. I sense she's thinking hard. 2 days later, I'm at the lawyer's office. I felt like I was sneaking into the Pentagon, but I'd finally scheduled a consultation, wanting to know how to handle custody, prepare paperwork, be as fair, but as steel-spined, as possible. The lawyer is calm, businesslike, and spells out what I should be doing, writing down everything about my role in the kids' lives, our financials, her involvement, or lack thereof, and any incidents that might be important. I start making folders. If there's one thing this chaos has taught me, it's that I am a damn efficient project manager when motivated. The next surprise? My wife, on Sunday evening after the kids were asleep, sits down on the edge of our bed and says she went to see someone, a counselor, apparently a friend's recommendation. I don't know if this will last or if it's for real, but it's something. She says, I know I've been impossible. I know. I'm trying to understand why. I don't want to hurt you more. I don't want to hurt the kids. I wait for the accusation, the twist, but it doesn't come. We talk for an hour. We acknowledge that the marriage is likely over, that it's beyond repair, but there's less venom and more mutual sadness. I tell her I'm moving ahead with the divorce, but we can do it without destroying everything in the process. Here's where it gets wild. She doesn't argue. She doesn't call me names, or sob, or threaten custody, or rage. She just nods, quietly asks what comes next. So, yes, I'm talking to a lawyer. We've started looking at 2-bedroom apartments, and a friend from the gym told me their building is super family friendly. I may have possible gym buddy brunches in my single dad future. We're drawing up a basic schedule for the kids as a trial run, just so they never have to deal with late night screaming matches or sudden absences. There was a moment this afternoon when my daughter spilled milk across the kitchen floor, and both me and my wife just started giggling. Tired, ridiculous, relieved. We cleaned it up together, no fighting. It was the best cooperation we'd had in months. We're not friends, not yet, maybe never. We're co-parents. We're trying to figure out how to divide holidays, how to make sure the kids' routines don't go to hell. We agree, therapy for everyone, especially the kids if they need it. We're in a weird, quiet, hopeful place. Like that silent stretch after a loud thunderstorm. I don't know what's next beyond more lawyer meetings, more packing, a lot more peanut butter sandwiches and movie nights. But for the first time in years I don't feel like I'm suffocating. One last thing, call it a tiny victory. After tucking the kids in tonight, I realized I didn't dread walking into my living room. I poured a glass of water, stepped outside, and for 15 minutes just listened to the world go on. No yelling. No tension. Update 6. It's been just under 3 weeks since we decided to move forward with the divorce, and let me just start by saying, you never know how messy and weird the in-between can get until you're living it. I'm writing this propped up against unpacked boxes with a mug of coffee at 10:18 p.m., listening to my daughter snore through the thin new bedroom wall. Life's become a bizarre blend of relief and total chaos. Let's rewind a bit. Right after my last update, the small signs of civility between me and my wife were, at first, kind of surreal. We kept the routines the same for the kids, but suddenly everything else was up for grabs. The weirdest part, there were zero fights. It's like the moment divorce stopped being the unspoken threat and became a real, shared project, we stopped needing to draw blood just to feel heard. Instead, we started bickering about deeply domestic stuff: who gets the blender, who takes the Christmas decorations, who has to deal with the busted Roomba. Then, over the weekend, we actually did the trial run for the kids. They spent Friday night with me at the new apartment. We just signed the lease on a place 5 blocks from their old school, and Saturday with my wife, while I moved more stuff over. The first night without them was a punch to the gut, like the silence was mocking me, the way only an empty kid's bedroom can. The second night, when they came back, my son walked in and declared, "Daddy, your new house is so blue. And smaller. But I like it. It's more gray than blue, but I'll take it." Here's where shit got wild. My wife's counseling started too. actually affect her. At least, for the first time in years, she turned up at the new apartment drop-off and stood in the entryway awkwardly holding a Tupperware of her spaghetti, for me, not the kids. She said, "I've been reading about emotional labor." I braced for the cliché lecture. She kept going. "I think maybe I just checked out back when I got overwhelmed. And then I blamed you for everything I didn't like about my life." 20 seconds of silence. Then she said, "I'm sorry. Again, I can't fix it, but I'm trying not to do it to the kids." I was stunned. But more than that, I felt something unexpected: hope. Not for us, obviously, it really is over, whatever was good between us. But maybe, just maybe, I won't have to spend the rest of my life wishing my kids had a different mom, or resenting every future drop-off. Now, about things truly divorced guy level, oh man. The first night at the new place, after tucking in both kids and finally getting them to sleep in their new bunk bed, I realized the only food I had in the house was 3 cans of chicken noodle soup, 6 granola bars, and a leftover banana from the move. The next morning, breakfast was wacky peanut butter tortillas, one of those slapdash dad recipes that's going to haunt them for life. But they loved it. The kids keep pointing out things the old house had: "You don't have a bathtub, Daddy, just a shower that yells when it gets too hot," and building pillow forts out of every unpacked item. I've been surprised by the, dare I say it, quiet moments of actual happiness. I sliced my finger open building the world's worst IKEA dresser, and my daughter, all of 5 years old, ripped her Elsa Band-Aid off her own arm to stick on my bloody knuckle. My son tried to make hot chocolate with just tap water and cocoa powder in the microwave and nearly burned down the apartment. And yet, in these disasters, I found myself truly present and not angry, just grateful none of us perished in a Nestle fireball. One actually crazy turn: last Thursday, my neighbor from across the hall knocks. She introduces herself, Marissa, middle-aged, 2 dogs, actually bakes cookies for new arrivals. She says, "I noticed your kids, do you want some old board games? My boys are in college now." She proceeds to hand over a box of games, plus a number to the best pizza place within delivery distance. I nearly hugged her. This weekend, my wife and I did our first official family meeting, per therapist orders, at a local park. We sat on separate benches while the kids dug for rocks. My wife and I made a spreadsheet, actual rows and columns, of holidays, expenses, routines. There were awkward moments. Do I have to take them for the Halloween parade? I cannot survive family picture day at school every year on my own, but we worked it out. In front of the kids, we managed some jokes, some actual teamwork, even shared a laugh over the memory of the Easter Bunny disaster of 2021. And the kids? They noticed. I heard my son tell his sister, "See? Dad and Mom can talk and not be loud. It's good." The wildest thing, possibly the most healing moment yet, was after the meeting. My wife, lingering as the kids argued over the last juice box, thanked me for not being an asshole through all of this. I told her honestly, I'd rather use all my energy being a better dad than fighting with you. Was that a little petty? Maybe. But it felt real. She nodded, eyes pretty damp, and got in her car. I realized as I watched her drive away that, no anger, no regret, no burning what-ifs. Just the strange sense of being at the beginning of something new. There are still weird, sad moments. The panic when I find a tiny sock in my coat pocket and realize it's from a house I don't live in anymore. The dumb ache when I drop the kids off on her nights and go home alone. But there is also relief. There's the grocery store run where I buy only the yogurts my kids like, no one here to judge if I get the blueberry. The gym bro who invited me to his poker night after spotting me benching way more than usual, joking, single dad strength. He also has 2 kids, so we're bonding over which superhero is hardest to clean off the walls. I'm not out of the woods. I'm still wound tight, still get headaches, still looking around and thinking, how, exactly, did I end up a single dad in my early 30s? But for the first time, it feels like the tunnel has a light at the end that doesn't look like an oncoming train. My wife and I aren't friends, but we're not enemies either. Just, I don't know, co-managers at a startup called our children's well-being. And tonight, laying here in the quiet, I actually believe that can work.